Alright, so I'm going to be going over my homebrew rules today. Sorry, hold on. These are rules that I have implemented as a DM that I find to be extremely useful. So yeah. Number one, I've probably stolen this from some other tabletop YouTuber since I do watch a lot of D&D content, but every time you level up, whenever you go to add your new hit dice, you roll it twice and then take the higher number. So for example, let's say my wizard just leveled up, I would gain 4 hit points. If you end up rolling both the same numbers, then you get to take the highest value on your hit dice. So for example, if this was a d6, if both numbers landed on 3, then you'd gain 6 hit points. Along with, and however, if you roll 2 ones, then you just gain a 2. Alright, number 2. I do inspiration a little bit differently than what is recommended within the core rulebooks. And at the same time, I like my players, whenever I am playing a fantasy campaign, obviously, if I'm playing something like Curse of Strahd or a Grim Dark campaign where it's supposed to be more realistic, then I'll go with the normal inspiration rules. However, here's how I do inspiration. You can use half an inspiration to add a d10 to your roll, or you can use a full inspiration to automatically pass the roll. Now, if you use a full inspiration, If you use a full inspiration to automatically pass the roll, it does not have the same, meaning as a crit. It's just going to be if you landed on the DC, not if you beated it or went below it. So for example, your barbarian is trying to jump over some kind of channel, and you roll a 4, you go, oh no, I'm about to die. But then you remember, I still have half an inspiration. So you take that, roll that, and add a 9 to it, which could pass the roll. Number 3, I homebrew the absolute crap out of the monk class. So first of all, I make it so their martial arts start off as D6 instead of D4. You know, they're supposed to be frontline fighters up there with the barbarian, the fighter, the paladin. They're supposed to be frontline fighters. Next up, I make it so they're proficient with martial weapons and light armor. You can still use unarmored defense in light armor. And the reason why I say this is you are someone who has been training with martial arts throughout your entire life up to the point where you start to adventure. You would know how to use a long sword. You would know how to use a great axe. I know that it kind of gets rid of like Kensei monks, but like this should really be built into the class to begin with. Also, you have 1 key point at level 1. Yeah. Oh my goodness, but this is so unbalanced. It's really not. It's just putting them up on par with where the other fighting classes are at that level. Number 4, whenever it comes to Dragonborns, I let you decide when you gain your breath weapon and when you gain your flight. Traditionally, you gain your breath weapon at level 1 and you gain your flight at level 5. I give you the option between choosing your flight at level 1 and gaining your breath weapon at level 5. So you get to choose which one you get at level 1 and which one you get at level 5. You're gonna get and end up with both, however, as you level up. Number 5, I made a healing charge system since no one in my up-and-coming Curse of Strahd campaign is playing a cleric, bard, or paladin. Basically, whenever you're feeling low on hit points, I allow you to use a healing charge, and that allows you to roll some d10s, and then add your constitution modifier, and then your level, and that's how many hit points you gain back. Depending on your class, it's how many times you can do this per day. Something like a barbarian or fighter can do this 3 times per day. Something like a wizard or sorcerer can do this once per day. Number 6, that was a 7. I don't know why I put up 7. Number 6, if you are playing a sorcerer, I allow you to use the spellcasting points in the back of the Dungeon Master's Guide instead of the traditional spell slot system. I also allow you to use your spellcaster points as spell points. Alright, this time, actually number 7. You don't have to be evil to play the following classes or subclasses: Oathbreaker Paladin, Death Domain Cleric, Grave Domain Cleric, War Domain Cleric, undead, warlock, like stereotypical evil classes or subclasses. You don't have to be evil. Back in an old campaign, I was basically playing Anakin Skywalker turning into Darth Vader. Like not actually playing Anakin, but like I kind of wanted my character to be like that, where I went from a holy paladin to an oathbreaker over my story arc. And when I did that, my game master basically said, okay, you can do this, but the second you break your oath, you have to turn your alignment to lawful evil, I think it was. And so I just didn't end up going through with it. I just ended up staying good the entire time. And yeah, I don't want to have my players go through something like that. So instead, yeah. Number 8. If your character dies during combat or something like that, I mean goes down below 0, fails all their death saves, I will ask you this question. Is this how your character dies? Really quick, I just discovered a little spider homie living in my lamp. Go ahead, bro, you're eating bugs and all that stuff, so you're not hurting me. Basically, if you say no, this is not how my character dies, I will let your character come back to life in some way. It will probably have some kind of consequences, though, like having to make a warlock pact or coming back with being an undead or a revenant or something like that. Alright, well, there were my 8 most used homebrew rules. Thank you for watching, and bye.